So we'd like to welcome Taylor Wells today of Prana Power Yoga. Taylor and her husband Philippe have created 4 different Prana Power Yoga centers in, where are they located?
Newton, Massachusetts, Cambridge, Massachusetts, Winchester, Massachusetts, and Union Square, New York City. There.
And you and your husband have created and teach at and direct these yoga studios. And Taylor, you're 7 months pregnant with twin boys.
I am.
Yeah, and can you talk to us about what are the benefits of yoga in pregnancy?
Oh, there are so many. I think first of all, it's important to remember that the baby's energy and the baby's life begins, at conception, or even before, I would argue, when you have the intention of bringing a life onto the planet. And so it's so important during your pregnancy to be calm and centered and think good thoughts. And the yoga practice, the asanas, really help us to kind of stop our daily life and get centered and come into that place of joy and calm and where you want to be for your baby. Mm-hmm. There's so many other benefits as well. Helps you with breathing, helps you with focus and intending, so you can set an intention at the beginning of your practice, to have the best labor ever, the best pregnancy ever. I've been doing that. I'm 44, and I'm asking for the best twin pregnancy ever, and I have that. I highly believe in the breath, in the focus, and the intention, and in the commitment. So it's a discipline. It's setting the time each day to get on your mat. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be X number of minutes every day. If you just get on your mat and move some energy, move some stuck energy out of your body with the breath and with the asanas that were created over 5,000 years ago for a reason, you're going to see a big difference in how you experience your pregnancy, and your baby will be born with such a calm, beautiful presence. I've seen that I have 3 children now, a 12-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old. And people have always commented on how calm and grounded they are. And I do believe it started from practicing during pregnancy.
So Taylor, I've noticed on your website, on your blog, how often you mention that with the stresses of daily life, you'll say, I just need to get back to my mat. Or asanas to avoid if they're pregnant, or possible?
Absolutely. Yeah, and one more thing also about the positives of the practice during pregnancy. When you're pregnant, your body is changing every single day, and you have a lot of things going on, and you might be you most likely are dealing with fatigue and nausea or cravings, or whatever comes up for you in each pregnancy. And the practice really, really eases all of that, helps you to sleep better, helps you to not feel stress in the same way, or just really gets rid of stress. As I said earlier, moves stuck energy out of your body, because actually stress, depression, fear, anger, all that is stuck energy. So as we use the asanas and the breath, we can move it out. Now, that said, there are a few things that I don't suggest during pregnancy. I wouldn't do intense twists. So twists where you're really twisting intensely. You want to use a block during your pregnancy to ease off of twists. I practice every day, Prana Power Yoga every day, but I twist gently and I use a block. And your body will tell you. Your body will always tell you when to rest and when to back off. So it's moving out of the ego and moving into connection and intuition. So one thing is no intense twists. The second thing is I actually don't do intense back bends. For my first 2 pregnancies, I did wheel, Dhanurasana, and my last 2, actually, I'm not, and I just feel I do a bridge pose, and that's it. I just feel that, for that 9 to 10 month period, I can just back off on that just to be super conservative. It's the only area in my life in which I'm conservative. So, the other thing is, there's 2 other things. One-legged standing poses can be challenging if you have varicose veins. A lot of women get varicose veins. It's just from the weight of the baby. Some women find them painful, varicose veins. Some women just find them annoying. And they do go away after you have the baby. But a one-legged standing pose, if you have varicose veins, I wouldn't recommend. And finally, you don't want to do any deep, 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 deep breathing. So you want to do Ujjayi breath, which is inhaling through your nose, exhaling out through your nose. So using your throat muscles, constricting them. And that in itself will calm you down. And so even if you're driving around in traffic, you know, picking up your kids from wherever, going to the market, you can use that breath. But you don't want to do breath that's too deep or too fast, because that's just not helpful for the baby. You want the baby to obviously be getting a lot of oxygen. Warrior One is a wonderful pose for pregnant moms out there, because it strengthens and stretches your arms and your legs. It increases your stamina. It improves your balance and your concentration, and it relieves backaches. And a lot of pregnant moms talk about backaches, and here's a pose that will relieve it. When you're pregnant, be mindful that you are more likely to injure yourself by stretching too far because of the hormone relaxin, which serves to help the uterus expand and affects all connective tissue in the body. So just be mindful that you actually will be able to stretch further than ever before, but really listen to your body and don't stretch too far, because you've got that hormone relaxin working with you and you don't want to injure yourself. Now I moved from Warrior One into Warrior Two. And also I'm going to show you reversing your warrior, which is nice, opening the side body. But Warrior Two is really nice for pregnant moms because it opens your hips and it strengthens your legs. It's really important to do the Ujjayi breath, remember, throughout your practice. So you're breathing in through your nose and exhaling out through your nose. Now from Warrior Two, I moved into Trikonasana, triangle pose. And this is an excellent pose for expecting moms because it opens your hips and your chest and your hamstrings. And that's really nice for labor and just for comfort when you're walking around with that big belly. Now you can modify this, as I'll show you, by having your hand closer to your knee, or you can bring your hand further down towards the floor and you can extend it, reaching one hand forward, listening to your body always. Now Malasana, also known as squat pose, is fabulous when you're pregnant. It opens your hips, it opens your groin, it relaxes your psoas, and this is nature's pregnancy yoga pose. So my third child, Phoenix, who's now 3, I actually gave birth to him in Malasana, in squat pose. And it's wonderful for birth because you're using gravity. Now, Baddha Konasana is also wonderful for pregnant moms because it's a great hip and groin opener. And it also relaxes the psoas. And remember to do your Ujjayi breath. So you're inhaling through your nose and exhaling out through your nose. Janu Sirsasana, another great supermom pregnancy pose. wonderful for opening the hips, opening the groin, and relaxing the psoas. And all of these poses will help you so much to feel more comfortable in your body and have your energy flow. Now, half pigeon is a wonderful pose during your pregnant months while your baby's growing in your belly, because it opens your glutes and it opens your hips and it opens your groin. And you can modify it as needed. So as your hips are tighter, you'll just go less deeply into the pose. And I do a few variations here, and you'll just listen to your body and see if these work or if they don't work. And if they don't work, just back off. It's no worries. This is double pigeon, which I usually do after I practice half pigeon. And it also opens your glutes, your hips, and your groin. Now, when I'm not pregnant, I actually fold forward in double pigeon and I bring my forehead toward a block or the floor, but at this point, girlfriend, that's not going to happen. My belly's too big. Now this pose is called side plank, or the Sanskrit term is vastisthasana. This is nice for when you need to create a little bit more room in your rib area. So sometimes all the pressure from the baby, or babies in my case, makes it difficult to breathe or catch my breath. So vastisthasana feels nice to create a little bit more space there. And that is what our practice does. It creates more space in our body, our minds, and therefore our lives. This is child's pose. So obviously child's pose is going to be great during pregnancy, just by the name. It relaxes your lower back. It opens your chest and your pelvis. Really breathe into this pose and visualize your low back opening. Visualize whatever you're holding in your low back coming out, and see it as a color. So I like to see it as black or red or purple or green, and just visualize it leaving your body, all that tension and all that stress. So Shavasana is usually the last pose that we do of our practice, and it is the pose of rest. And actually, in India, the whole point of the practice, the asanas, is to get to this point, to be able to rest and to meditate. So enjoy the Shavasana. If you are later on in your pregnancy and your belly's big, you want to do it on your side with your knees bent, because you don't want to lie on your back for a long period of time with that belly, because it will cause you to become lightheaded. Now, while you're pregnant, your uterus is growing and expanding rapidly and getting heavier and heavier. So you don't want the weight of your baby on your aorta. So lying on your back can cause some compression to the blood vessels, which would decrease the blood to the uterus and the oxygen to the baby. So you want to avoid lying on your back for long periods of time in later stages of pregnancy.
For more information about natural healing at home, with DVDs and online courses, please see our website, greenhealing.org. This excerpt is from our show, A Healer in Every Home. You can see more clips on the Green Healing TV channel on YouTube.